Welcome to Hope Valley Online. My name is Joshua and I'm a part of the Hope Valley team. If this is your first time tuning in, please let us know. You can text Team Hope, all one word, to 94,000. We would love to connect with you and get you more information about Hope Valley. Please make sure to hit the share button. You never know whose life might be impacted just by you sharing this experience. Last week, Pastor Reeves kicked off a brand new series titled Life Hacks. He's going to continue the series today, so make sure that you grab a pen, grab your notebook and Bible, and be ready. All right, let's take a moment and allow this time of worship to minister to you. Come on, let's worship.
not enough. I'm not enough unless you come. Will you meet me here again? 'Cause all I want is all you are. You meet me here again. Here again. I'm not enough unless you come. Will you meet me here again? 'Cause all I want is all you are. Meet me here again. Not enough unless you come. Meet me here again. 'Cause all I want is all you are. Meet me here again.
Hey, welcome, Hope Valley family. I'm glad that you're here and that you are joining us this morning. And hey, grab a notebook and pen and lean in. Hey, how are you doing on your fast? Come on, we're in day 8 of our 21 days of prayer and fasting. And listen, me and Jen and our team are praying for you and believing the best is still yet to come in your life. And come on, 2020's gone, 2021 is here, and we're going to live our best life this year. And we are starting off this year with fasting, and I'm so excited about it because it detoxes the soul. Come on, some of us need to be off of the social media. Some of us need to be off of watching news. Hey, listen, fasting food and drink, it's all part of the fast. And hey, listen, we're praying for you. We love you and we honor you. I'm thankful that you're on the journey with us. Hey, we are in our second week of our series called Life Hacks. And last week we talked about hacking worry. And so let me back up real quick. The word hack is simply this. It's a clever way to solve a complicated problem. Come on, how many of you have ever needed some life hacks in your life to help you out? I get caught up so many times watching these life hacks, what can really help me out to make my life a little bit better. I got a couple of them I want to share with you just real quick, just for fun. We did it last week, we're going to do it this week. How many of you that have kids, you guys will know this, that have kids, and you get down to the very two end pieces. Come on, we always dig of the bread. We always dig out of the middle of the bread because we don't want to eat the end pieces. And then your kids see it like they don't want that, man. A lot of them don't want crust, right? So just take that. Look, here's what you do. You just take those two end pieces, flip them around, then put the peanut butter and jelly on that side, and they'll never know. It looks just like two regular pieces of bread. That one's for free. A second one that I have is, I love this one. My wife uses it all the time. You ever, I don't have this issue. Josh Brown might have this issue of opening a jar of pickles, something like that. It takes a lot of strength to open them up. You know what I mean? My wife has this issue a lot, so she'll ask me, and I'll just say, hey, just grab the end of a knife and just bang it all the way around, and it just pops open. Josh was amazed when I told him that, and now he uses it often. And man, that's for free too, so go out there and use that. That's what life hacks are. Listen, we talked about hacking worry last week, and I taught you to worry less. You need to trust Jesus more. And so many times in our life, it's easy to just do life alone, essentially without Jesus. It's easy to do life on our own. We got it in control, and so we talked a lot about trusting Jesus last week. And so today, I want to talk to you about hacking pain. That's what I want to talk to you about, hacking pain. And if you're listening or watching today, you've dealt with pain. Come on now. You've dealt with it. None of us escapes pain. Come on, there's physical pain. How many of you stumped your toe, right? Getting out of bed in the middle of the night, or some jagged piece of toy that your child has left on the ground. Like there's paper cuts. Like, come on, we can't get away from pain. Or maybe it's emotional pain for you, that it's a death of a loved one, or it's hey, your kids ain't acting right. Like, I need some help. Like maybe it's emotional for you, or even relational pain. You're dealing with friends, and you're dealing with people. But we all deal with pain, and pain comes in all different sizes and forms, honestly. And you can't avoid it. I can't avoid it. I don't have some special grace shield in front of me that I never have to deal with pain, that we all have to deal with pain. And, you know, Paul is a major example of someone in faith who walks through enormous amounts of pain. And not only does he do it, he does it well. You know, Paul was a man that when he started his life, he hated Christians. He didn't like Christians, and he really spent his life condemning them. And then what I love about the story is that he transitioned his life into really seeking out who God is in his life. And so when he started that journey, he pretty much gave his whole life to God and said, now I'll live for you. And I love Paul's story because it equates so much to me, somebody that's walked through so much and can continue to walk through. And a lot of times I want to give up just like Paul. And so he's a huge encouragement. I pray that it encourages you. But listen to Paul's pain right here. This is crazy. In 2 Corinthians chapter 11, starting in verse 23, he says, I have worked much harder, been in prison more frequently, been flogged more severely, and been exposed to death again and again. That's terrible. 5 times I've received, it says 5 times I received from the Jews, the 40 lashes minus 1. He received the same thing that Jesus received, but he received it 5 times. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was pelted with stones. 3 times I was shipwrecked. You figured that, you know, he would just kind of give up on the first one, right? He says, I spent a night and a day in an open sea. That's terrible. I don't want to be there. I have been consistently on the move. I have been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, in danger from fellow Jews, church people, come on, in danger from Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the country, in danger at the sea. My Lord, this guy was in danger, and in danger from false believers. I have labored and toiled, and I have often gone without sleep. I have known hunger and thirst, and I have gone without food. I have been cold and naked, which are two things you don't want to mix. Besides everything else, I like this part, I face daily pressure of my concern for all the churches. I mean, if Paul couldn't avoid pain, I don't think we can either, right? Paul was in a place where he couldn't avoid it. He was telling the people of the church, like, listen, I know you're walking through something, but let me tell you, I've walked through it too. So let me help you hack it today. And I think that you can hack pain with this one word. I think it's this, it's purpose. I do. I think it's purpose. In other words, we can't escape the pain that we're walking through in that season, but we can have a greater purpose while going through the pain. It's like, honestly, it's like exercising, right? You can't avoid you can't avoid it and get the results that you're looking for. So you can't be strong and buff and just not work out, right? But if you endure it for just a little while, then you'll get the results that you're looking for. Does that make sense? You know, there's purpose in the pain when you work out. The purpose is the physique body. The purpose is a healthy life. The purpose is you got muscles. Come on, somebody. The same goes, I have heard, when you had a baby, right? My wife tells me that it's the worst pain of all. That's just what she says. And she endured and labored for 9 months. And what's the prize at the end? I don't know if a prize is probably the right word, but what's the end result? You have a child. You have life. You're able to endure a lot more when you realize that there is purpose through the pain. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so Paul shows us an outline of how to deal with and understand your purpose in going through your pain. And I think there's three major things to consider. And let's just start in 2 Corinthians chapter 1. It says, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all of our troubles." If you're in a season of, why am I walking through this? I think one of the primary purposes of your pain is so that you can lean into God's comfort. You know, the Bible says it right there again. It says, you know, He's the Father of compassion, and He is the God of all comfort, right? So I don't think God causes the pain, but He can definitely use your pain as a catalyst to lean on Him a little more in your life. I think that's important. You know, I'm an 80s baby, right? And so my mom grew up in the medical field. She was a respiratory therapist, so it's a little different. But she spent, 40 years in the medical field. And man, I remember as a kid, I had a bicycle accident. It was pretty nasty. Like I went over the handlebars on concrete, and it was just, the thing back in the 80s, like you rode your bike everywhere. That's just kind of what it was. But my back was like, I had road rash everywhere. And I remember coming home, and my mom was like she's seen it all. My mom was like compassionate to the people in the hospital, but to me, she's like, suck it up, you'll be fine. Well, you shouldn't have been riding the bicycle that way. She'll give me every excuse, of why not to ride it that way. Just recently, I had a knee injury, and it was pretty crazy. I was playing baseball with my son's team, and it was parents against kids. And I remember, listen, like I was getting ready to swing, and I get up there, and it's the parents against kids, and so like I really had to prove myself to my 9-year-old son that like his dad is king. So I get up there, and I get set, and the only thing that we had to do was we had to hit opposites. So I had to hit left-handed. So I got up there to swing. I stopped everybody, and I drilled that ball so hard, and I remember it roped all the way to the back of the fence and stuck straight in the fence, and so I took off. I took off in baseball fashion. Come on, somebody. I started to horseshoe that first base. I went wide, come in hard. All the kids were staring at me. I pushed the second baseman down, rounded second, and then they were going to try to throw me out on third. So I come back to second, and when they threw to second, I went back to third. I was going to steal it. So I came back to second, went back to third, and all of a sudden my knee went the opposite direction. and I went into a barrel roll. And literally, I popped up like, oh my gosh, I couldn't hear anything. Like everything was muffled. My knee was killing me. I felt for sure I have destroyed my leg, and rightfully so, I did. But I remember I was trying to avoid the issue as soon as it happened. So this is what happened when the pain happened in my life. Okay? So when that pain happened in my knee, I jumped up. I quickly tried to avoid it and be like, I'm cool. I'm like, oh, Jesus. I'm trying to walk around like I can't move around. I'm trying to avoid it. And then I medicate it by telling everybody, no, it's good. I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. It's fine. But then there was a point that somebody had to tell me, like, Reeves, if you don't get this fixed right now, like this was in like 10 minutes of time of the injury. He's like, you're going to be having major issues later on in life. And so I had to come to a conclusion to fix the problem. I had to fix it. So can I encourage you to do this even in your spiritual life? It's so easy to avoid when the pain is strong. You avoid people, right? You avoid the situation. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. And then what we do is we medicate it, however you medicate it, by overeating, by staying away from people, by drinking, whatever it is, you medicate it. But then it takes a moment for you to understand, like, listen, I got to fix this. And so the whole thing that I realized even in my own life, like even when I have pain inside, like I've got to bring my pain to God for Him to comfort me. Like, period. And Paul says it like this in 2 Corinthians. He says, we do not want you to be uninformed, brothers and sisters, about the troubles we experienced in the province of Asia. We are under great pressure, Paul said, far beyond our ability to endure, so that we despaired of life itself. So here you have Paul. He was in so much of excruciating pain, emotionally, physically, that he almost wanted to give up on his own life. And I think, honestly, some of you have those feelings right now. You have those feelings of the pain is so much that you don't know how to deal with it. You maybe told the wrong person, or you don't know how to connect with people to let somebody know. But look what he did in 2 Corinthians. He says, indeed, we felt that we had received the sentence of death. But, come on, there's a but. This happened, that we might not rely on ourselves, but on God who raises the dead. Come on. He has delivered us from such a deadly peril, and He will deliver us again. And on Him we have set our hope that He will continue to deliver us. Can I encourage you today that if my pain is too big for me, it is the perfect size for God? Do you hear that? Oftentimes your pain is way too big for you to handle, but it's the perfect size for God. If He can deliver you, He will deliver you. He is faithful to see it through to the very end. Come on, somebody. Some of you are out there struggling. If you just lean into Him, He can deliver you. Here's the second one. Back in 2 Corinthians, he says, who comforts us in all of our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. So when we walk through it ourselves, it's now our job to help others on the journey. Come on. The second thing is comfort others from your experience. So there's ministry on the other side of your misery that you went through. There is purpose on the other side of the pain, right? And I say it this way, if you've been through it, speak to it. Like, that's your platform. Some of you are walking around like, I don't have anything to help anybody with. And whatever you've walked through, you have a voice to speak to it. I encourage you, speak to it. You might not know the Bible forwards and backwards. You might not go to church every Sunday. But speak to the pain, because you never know what that can do for that person. But can I also encourage you as well? If you haven't been through it, don't speak to it. Like, don't do it. Come on, I was that guy. You know, you've heard my kids' stories. Like, before I had kids, I was the best parent in the whole world. I was the guy. I was like, can somebody shut that child up, please. Like my child will never, ever act like that until I had kids. I realized, like, whoo, I should have never said that. But if you've been through it, speak to it. Even if you've been through it, it qualifies you to speak to that very thing. So if you've walked through a divorce, you know what it's like. So help somebody out. If you've walked through situations, help somebody out, right? Listen, I might not know your ultimate purpose and your plan for your life, but I do know this, that your pain often reveals your purpose. So if you're walking through life and you don't know what in the world God is teaching you, oftentimes your pain reveals your purpose for that season. Your burden reveals that purpose. So whatever you've walked through, maybe, just maybe, it will give you a voice. I think that's important. And I like to say it this way: don't waste your pain. Use it to help others. Leverage it, leverage that pain for a ministry God has for you. Now listen, my clever one-liners, right, don't transform lives. I love the wow factor when I speak to people. I love all that, but those one-liners don't transform lives. Here's what transforms lives: the transparency of people that have walked through situations does. That's what transforms lives. Serious business. So how do you use your pain for your purpose? Right? Like, how do we use our pain for a purpose? Well, join a church family. Get a part of a community that loves and pursues God. Be around people that can help you move and shift and change. Like, find a spot to serve. This was huge for me. When I first got saved, that's exactly what I did, man. I put my foot in the door as much as I could and find a place to serve. We would love to have you on our team here at Hope Valley Church. And then the third thing is, like, tell your story, right? So how do you take your pain to purpose? Tell your story. Your story matters. It's a big deal. It's your testimony, right? 2 Corinthians chapter 1 says this, for just as we share abundantly in the sufferings of Christ, so also our comfort abounds through Christ. And I would say, when we minister to others, God ministers to you. Come on, this is so crucial. Many of us are waiting to be healed before we even walk in our purpose. But maybe, just maybe, your purpose is going to come as you start to serve others. And I think that's really important. I wrote it down this way: you will never experience more of God's comfort until you use what you have to comfort others. Listen, I feel more alive when I'm helping others. Right, there's many times that I honestly don't want to move forward. There's times where I don't want to get out of bed. There's times when, I feel like, hey, it needs to be about me for this little bit. But I'm never more alive when I'm serving others. I love it. It fulfills me. So I keep giving out and giving out and giving out as God keeps pouring in. Does that make sense to you? I receive healing as I help others. I heard this crazy story one time. I mean, it's wild. It's by a man named Larry Walter. And Larry Walter was a man that wanted to learn how to fly. He wanted to get his pilot's license, and so he pursued that dream. And so when he went to go get testing and started the process, they told him, it's like, Larry, your eyes they're terrible. This is like before LASIK surgery, all that stuff, like terrible. You're not going to be able to really fulfill this dream that you've had. So I don't know if this is really the best thing that we can do. You won't be able to do it here. And so Larry Walter, frustrated, leaves, and he's a man that dreamed a lot and wanted to fly, wanted to be in the air, and wanted to experience that himself. He decides, you know what? I don't need the aviation club to help me out. I'm going to do this myself. So what he does, Larry Walter decides he goes and gets a common lawn chair and about 40 weather balloons and decides to blow them up. And he says, I want to fly. I want to experience this. And so this is his story. It's a true story. It happened in 1982. You can go look it up. It's wild. And so his idea was that he'd pack him a lunch, right, and some snacks, and once the thing lifted off, he would have a BB gun with him that he could pop a balloon to bring him down. It's crazy, right? Like this is there ain't no way you couldn't pay enough money to do this. Like this is nuts. He's on a lawn chair, like that 1980s lawn chair. You know what I'm talking about? Where when you sit down in it, your bottom goes right through it. It's like, whoop, opens up. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. And so he gets up there. He starts to go up. Well, he drops the BB gun. So now he's he's just floating around. He immediately goes to 16,000 feet. The weather balloons hold tight there, and he just starts going. He floated over LAX and literally shut the whole airport down, and eventually came down to rest in somebody's backyard. And the police came and obviously to arrest him, and they were like, oh, we don't know what we're arresting him for, but we're going to arrest him for something. He's violated something for sure. And so the camera people get there, the news channels, and they ask him, and they say, why in the world would you do this? Seems crazy, Larry. Why in the world would you do this? And this is what he said. He said, I had a dream, and I realized I couldn't sit around any longer. I mean, come on, some of you have a dream out there, and you don't need to sit around any longer. God has got purpose in you, and you can't contain it anymore. It's your ministry. I need you to get up and do something with that life. Come on, God is calling you to be better from one place to the next place. I'm believing in you. I'm believing God has you. And I want to encourage you to get up and do something for God. To get up and help change somebody's life. Come on. Would you just close your eyes just for a moment? I need you to know that God sees you. He sees you where you're at. He sees you in your pain. He sees you in your frustration. He sees you feeling like you're not good enough. He sees you with your family. He sees you with your husband or your wife. He sees you. He sees you in school. He sees you out there doing life. Most importantly, he sees your pain. And I know for some of you out there, like, you don't know where to go from here. Can I just encourage you to lean into God? Because there is purpose in this pain that you're walking through. I promise. I promise. Remember that pain is too big for you, but it's the perfect size for God. That's oftentimes why we can't get through it. The pain's too big. It's too much to handle. That's why it's important to have a community around you. So if that's you today, listen, I'm praying for you. I'm believing that God is speaking to you. If you know Jesus and you're walking through that, listen, believe in, trust in God. But if you're out there and you're experiencing pain and never have connected with Jesus in your life, this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to lean in. And I would say this, like, a relationship with Jesus is simply just saying yes. It really is. He called the disciples. They left everything and followed him. And so it's simply saying, yes, God, I understand that I'm a sinner. It's the posture that you are. I understand that you died on the cross. Maybe I don't understand all of it. But Lord, I'm willing to learn. I'm all in. I'm all in for you, and I love you. Thank you for saving me. And if that's you, please reach out. Say something. Come on, let us help you. If you're walking through any types of pain, any struggles, reach out. We're there for you. So listen, we honor you. We pray for you. Father, thank you so much. I thank you for these people that are watching. God, I know you see them. I know you see the pain. I know you see the frustration. God, I'm thankful for all the things that you've done in my life. God, and most important, thank you for the cross in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, listen, thank you for joining us today. We'll catch you next week in our series, week 3 of Life Hacks. Don't miss it. Love you.
Thanks so much for watching with us today. If you made a decision to follow Jesus or you would like for us to pray for you, you can text Team Hope, all one word, to 94,000. Our team is ready to help out any way possible. If you call Hope Valley your home or you would like to partner with us financially, there are 3 ways. You can mail in your giving, you can go to our website, or you can text any amount to 84321. Hope Valley Kids is every Sunday morning starting at 9 a.m. on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. We have something for all ages, so make sure to go check it out. We are in day 8 of 21 days of prayer and fasting. Listen, I encourage you to keep praying, to keep fasting, and to draw close to God during this time. The moments where you feel like you just want to give in are the moments where we draw near to God. So keep pushing on. Thanks again for watching with us today. Have an incredible week.